Saturday's performance?
Yeah, generally relatively happy. I think we should have won. So I think a little, I wouldn't say disappointed, but we wish we'd closed the game out. But, you know, it's part of the learning experience, I think, for younger players, and we certainly had a very young lineup out, is, you know, how to close the game in those little moments when a good experienced team like Charlotte can catch one late, and now when you thinking maybe you go home with 3 points, you go home with 1 point. So, but overall, I think the performance, generally speaking, we felt pretty good about it. We played how we want to play at this club for the most part. We attacked, we defended pretty well. Took a few good chances with Georgie and with Lagos. So for our first trip on the road against a good Charlotte team, who obviously at the moment is sitting top of the league, and I expect them to continue to be a strong team, I think we can say steps forward. Yeah.
And was it difficult getting George and Chris acquainted with the team, having only joined you guys in practice maybe last Thursday?
No. So Georgie has trained with us quite a bit. And so he knows the players, he knows me, as does Chris, but he's trained with us quite a bit, and so he knows a lot of the things that we try to do, which, again, the concepts are pretty similar to the first team. But of course, with different players, you always have a little bit of an acclimatization period. So for George, it's pretty easy. And then for Chris, he's also trained with us enough to have everything kind of right there for him. And Chris and I have known each other a while, and so, you know, our pregame talks and what we expect of him, he can absorb it pretty seamlessly, and he had a good performance. You know, didn't get on the score sheet like a Lagos or a Georgie, but Chris had a good performance, and it's something to build on for him. We expect now more and more of the same.
Was Georgie credited with the goal?
I think they changed it to an own goal, but hard to tell from the camera angle. He certainly started and finished the play, so in my mind, I'll give him the credit.
Talk about that. Just George's fearlessness as a 16-year-old to get upfield like he does.
Sure. I mean, we know it's there, so we're not surprised. He's natural in that he sees the game really clearly, and when he sees a moment to go, he goes, and we know we'll get that out of him, and we know that's why he's a huge prospect for the club, because he has the ability to play high up the field and also play in a defensive role. And so for George, you know, he sees the moment in the game and he goes. And as I said after the game, we have no hesitation to put him on the field and trust him for 90, and I think he rewarded that faith with a good performance, and for a debut, you can't ask for a whole lot more, although he'll take some learning moments also. Yeah.
Atlanta United could have a center back opening, or will have a center back opening on Saturday.
Yeah.
How's Robinson looking his 2 games?
Yeah, no, Miles has been very good for us. Defensively, very solid, cleans up a lot of things. Developing a good partnership with AJ, for sure. And, you know, his passing is rapidly coming along, and it's something we've worked a lot with him on. And, you know, we look at video, particularly, you know, for defensive, but also for attacking moments. And so his passing stats on Saturday were quite good. And so Miles has definitely taken steps forward. And really, I think that's a big part of what we're doing here, is giving him those game minutes to get him chances to just have that platform. And so we're happy with the progress he showed so far, and now if he becomes an option for Tatsa, then credit to the kid, and that means we're doing our job.
Specifically, what with his passing? Is it the springing a counter, or what is it that you're working on with?
Yeah, you know, obviously in this club we ask a lot out of the center backs and the defenders in general in terms of helping to make the game and build play. And so for Miles, it's about being cleaner. Technically, it's also, you know, the pace with which he chooses and executes decisions. And I think specifically one of the things that we've seen him improve on is his ability to play sort of second line passes, so passes that cut out some defensive players and find a midfielder or a wide player, an attacking player, and he's starting to hit those with a lot of confidence. So far so good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Paul Christensen also made his pro debut. Just talk about his performance and what he gave to you.
Yeah, really solid, I think, particularly with his feet and helping us build play and play out of situations and play from the back, which again is one of the things in this club that's important. So Paul is calm. He communicated well. He spoke to his defenders and gave them information. Didn't have much of a chance on the first one. And on the second one, more than it being anyone's fault, I think it was a little bit of bad luck. I think Paul maybe thinks he could have done more with it, but that's because he's a driven kid, and again, he's another young pro. He's 21. This is his pro debut, and he'll learn from it and take what he can.
Yeah, close to a 7 or 8 year age difference between the starting lineups between Charlotte and you guys. Is that normal for people not familiar with the USL or this type of league? And do you expect to kind of see that maybe throughout the year? You guys on the younger end and maybe facing some older teams?
Absolutely. One, I think it is abnormal to play as young as we did on Saturday and as we will through the season at a lot of points. But it's also a credit to the players that we have in the club and the trust we have in them. So I expect in various games we will see lineups as young as the one we put out Saturday. The thing is they responded. So for us, there's no concern. We know that they have it in them. And so whether we line up at 20.8 or 22.5, whatever the case may be, we trust our young players. And it will be normal that we're playing against older teams because a lot of the independent clubs do play significantly older players. And the other MLS, MLS 2 clubs at times also play some older players and sometimes play younger players. So it's a long way of saying, we expect there will be age difference as we go through the year. And for us, really it's no bother. We trust our guys.
Anything else for Coach?